So you guys are going to get a kick out of this. This is awesome. Take a look. More than 1,000 men and women at Notre Dame, more than a tenth of the student body, want to ban porn from the school's Wi-Fi. This is from the Daily Beast. Republicans and radical feminists have all but abandoned it, but the fight against porn has an unlikely new champion. College men, combining the energy of the Me Too movement with a moral fervor. Students at universities across the country told the Daily Beast they are working to get pornography off their campuses. The effort started out at Notre Dame University in October when 80 male students penned an open letter requesting a porn filter on the campus Wi-Fi. Since then, lead letter writer Jim Martinson said he's received emails from more than 40 students at other universities who want to install a filter on their own campuses. Georgetown senior Amelia Irvine, a conservative firebrand, told the Daily Beast that Martinson's letter inspired her to push for something similar at her Catholic university. She plans to recruit support over the winter break and start an open letter or petition in the spring. So, they claim that pornography teaches men to objectify women, it normalizes sexual assault, and it exploits the men and women involved. Now, of course, I probably don't need to explain to you guys that that is all complete and utter bullshit and is provably incorrect. In fact, a 2007 study from the Queensland University of Technology in Australia found that the amount of pornography viewed did not predict negative attitudes towards women, and some experts even pointed out that the rate of sexual assault has decreased in recent decades, even as porn use has soared. And that, to me, is unsurprising. So if you have, a pressure release valve, for lack of a better analogy, for people, where they take care of their business in their own home, and it's a stress reliever, if you will, then yeah, that's going to have positive social consequences. That doesn't just happen in a vacuum. People have this thing that they like, which is a stress reliever, and that has benefits in other areas of society. So that seems pretty obvious to me. And also this idea, I find it at face value, I find it really ridiculous. This idea that, like, fake porn scenes that have fake violence or weird fetishes in them, like, oh, that means there's that's going to lead to that happening in real life. What? No. First of all, it's consensual by definition, or it's a snuff film and it shouldn't be allowed, but it's role play almost in porn when they're doing things that are somewhat questionable. And people know that. People know that. They're watching it. It's not like they're like, wow, I can't wait to assault somebody because I'm seeing something weird on a porn screen. That doesn't happen. And they make all these leaps of logic because they actually just have a stance against porn, and they don't care how they get to the end goal of getting rid of it, but they just want to get rid of it. Now, here's the part of the article that floored me. This is crazy. They say, this kind of moral disdain for porn isn't new for religious conservatives who've made it central to their political campaigns for decades. But the new campus anti-porn crowd is refreshing their moral arguments with the language of the Me Too and anti-campus rape movements, repeating familiar feminist talking points about the objectification of women and how pornography focuses predominantly on male pleasure. Every student who spoke with the Daily Beast mentioned the levels of violence against women displayed in modern pornography. A third of all porn scenes showed perceived physical or psychological harm to another person, one recent study found. I find that bullshit. While the students never claimed that porn directly caused sexual assault, several said they felt it contributed to the current cultural movement. So that's just precious. Listen, what they're saying is there's like this weird alliance between religious fundamentalists and effectively social justice warriors. The people who care, who are overly focused on the social stuff to the point of parody, where their solutions are like authoritarian in nature. And this is the biggest divide, man. So the best way to think about politics, it's not the linear spectrum left versus right. The quadrant makes a hell of a lot more sense, where you have libertarian left, authoritarian left, authoritarian right, libertarian right. That's a more accurate portrayal of reality. And what they're saying is there's like a literal alliance between fundamentalist evangelical Christians who are like, porn is bad and it's immoral and God doesn't like it and we should ban it. There's an alliance between those people and the hashtag #MeToo crowd, who are saying, because of how damaging this is to women and how patronizing this is and the negative consequences that impact women culturally, therefore we should ban porn. So what you're seeing is the marriage of, on this one issue, the authoritarian right and the authoritarian left. That's crazy. So there's a weird kind of fundamentalism now to the social justice warriors, the authoritarian leftists, who see something like banning porn and they go, that's really a good idea to protect women. So I'm against freedom because I want to, for this perceived notion of protecting women. And then there was somebody, they quoted a feminist who's sex positive in the article, and the feminist was like, I've never seen anything any more condescending and patronizing than what I'm seeing from these people now. Like, in other words, listen, I'm an empowered woman, and I don't need you telling me what to do. If porn actors and actresses are consenting and they're choosing to do it and they're getting paid for it and they view it as empowerment, then fuck off with your moral judgment and your condescending, patronizing, pedantic, looking down your nose as, we should ban this for your own good. Fuck off. So I don't want to go too far here and act like it is all feminists. No. And it's all Me Too people. No, there are some who are what's called sex-positive feminists who are like, no, this is actually a matter of freedom. And, like, it's funny, we're talking about this because I just saw the other day, Pamela Anderson did a long tweet storm on the yellow vest movement, the protests in France, and it was really actually very nuanced and very good, and she was talking about how, what's this violence compared to the violence that the elites have perpetrated on the working class all these years, and can we take this energy and move it towards egalitarian solutions, left solutions? And it's very well thought out, and I'm thinking, like, I'm looking at that, and then I read this article, and I go, what would fucking Pamela Anderson, basically a sex icon, think of this Me Too stuff where they're literally now saying there's an alliance, and they're like, we should ban porn. So there's a weird crossover. And it's like a fundamentalist streak where as soon as you start dictating to other people what they can and can't do, and as soon as you're anti-freedom, you've crossed the line and you've gone too far. So in other words, authoritarian right beliefs and authoritarian left beliefs are bad because they're authoritarian. And so the real alliance that makes sense is on the libertarian left and the libertarian right on some issues. On some issues, we're just not going to agree with the libertarian right, like economic stuff. But it's wild to see this actually unfold in real life, because there's always been this theory, like, the social justice warriors are almost like left-wing fundamentalist Christians in a way. Now it's literally unfolding, where they're like, yeah, let's have an alliance and ban porn together on college campuses. Or you could fuck off and do something that's intelligent and do something that makes sense and not try to control people's lives because of goofy ideas you made up in your head that aren't true.